And good evening, everyone. Hi, it's me again. Sorry I'm a little late. I was watching something about the hearing they had, a contempt hearing they had in Judge Bosar's court, the one who had told Trump to turn the planes around that were going to Venezuela. And he basically, I'm not going to make a ruling. I need some facts from the government. He started asking them questions. Where was the plane? How long has it been in the air? When did the president sign the proclamation? They said, we're not going to tell you that. All right, if it's classified, can we, if it's classified, can we, I go behind closed doors. I've taken classified information. I mean, I'm a district court here in D.C. I can hear it. No, we're not telling you. Why? Because we choose not to. And then, I want information. No, we don't want to. Then why did you ignore my order to turn the plane around? Because we don't feel compelled by it. This is where we fucking are right now. That is basically, he just basically tell everyone to go fuck themselves. The Trump administration has basically pushed it to the limit with the judges. With this Alien Enemies Act, and they already said, if you saw my last video, they're saying we don't have to listen to judges. This is a presidential thing. We are totally fucked. And I don't know what to say to it, because the Supreme Court's sitting there with a thumb up their ass. Congress is basically cheering them on, ready to literally impeach judges that say no to Trump. And here we are. And I mean, it's getting crazier and crazier. He has declared every pardon that Biden said illegal, or he's just wiping it off the bush because it's some kind of auto pen crazy bullshit, because he wants to prosecute everyone that's against him. I mean, it's just insane. And honestly, the Alien Enemies Act, with no war, with no enemy, coming up with this gang. Look, guys, gangs are local, period. It has nothing to do with federal government. Last time I haven't heard of an international gang, per se. And they're not a threat, and they're not terrorists. This is ridiculous. But all it is, and I'm going to put this out here, and then I'm going to ask a few of my friends come up here and see what they think. This is ethnic cleansing. And it's ethnic cleansing taking, going to the extreme of even anyone who has a green card. Anyone who has a green card can be removed. And we saw that with the guy that got picked up on Logan Airport. I want to talk about that. So let's see who's here today who wants to talk. Auntie's in. I haven't seen her in a while. And anyone just send out, we'll see what we can do. How you doing, Miss Auntie?
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Frustrated as hell, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at as an impasse what to say right now. And I don't know who's going to, as someone's saying they're going to keep pushing till he slap. Who's going to slap him? The DOJ is getting on board with making sure if you protest at a Tesla dealership, it's illegal. You can be prosecuted. They're really getting rid of due process. Due process is gone.
And you know what's going to happen next, though, right?
People like us?
Well, I've been watching and paying attention to things, and remember the executive order about the deportations. He was saying something about they were going to meet in about 90 days to see if they had basically deported enough people, and if they didn't, they would take some more measures. So, of course, they won't have found enough.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous. I mean, the one thing, and no one's talking about it, they really haven't. It's been like scooted over. It's bad enough those guys were dragged out of wherever and shipped to El Salvador without any due process.
And now
But
that
the
you do you see
gentleman,
the judge that actually told him to not do it, now they're trying to impeach him?
yes, the Republicans are on board with this bullshit. The Republican
Yep.
Party is totally on board with this bullshit. And you know who else is on board with this bullshit? Chuck Schumer. And the reason I'm saying that is because he had an interview with the New York Times after the debacle with the budget, and
Yeah.
he was asked about Mohammed Khalil. Do you think he should have been deported? And he hemmed and hawed. Well, if he broke the law, and yeah, well, maybe he should have. Maybe, and the reporter going, he was just protesting. Do you think that's an act of terrorism? And he hemmed and hawed about that bullshit at all. He says, "Don't worry, the courts will take care
Instead
of
of
it."
just
What
giving a
court?
straight answer. I mean, yeah.
Right.
You
What
know, it's
court? The
like
man is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no. I was just going to say, at this point, it's obvious that the only people that are going to be able to save us is us. We can't depend on the Democrats. We can't depend on anyone, honestly. I mean, like you said before, with the tiki torches and the pitchforks.
It's getting there. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what to. I don't know what to say to that because I know it's going to be ugly. I know it's going to be violent, and it's going to be literally blood in the streets. And oh, by the way,
Yeah.
quick note on Schumer had this book tour schedule. Why
Right.
is it that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have books? Now, it was a book about anti-Semitism and the warning, dude. If you the things you were saying about Muhammad Akil had is the same vein of what you're talking about anti-Semitism. I don't get you, but he had the book tour scheduled. He was going to be here in Atlanta, and I was looking forward to that because I was going to show up. He canceled it.
Of
He
course, they said
canceled
for his
it.
own safety.
Yeah, well, yeah, he knows, but and the thing about it is, they are convinced the leadership in the Senate side that is all a bunch of crazed progressives. It isn't. I am many things, and I am not a progressive. All right, I don't know what I am. All I know is I believe in the Constitution, and if it makes sense, I go with it. I don't expound to any kind of weird ass things. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. I am at a loss of words.
Everybody's bought and paid for. That's what it. I mean, when it all comes down to it, everybody is bought and paid for. So it's like,
Hey,
except for maybe
yeah.
a very few.
Hey, TJ, what's up, brother?
Hey, not much.
Hey,
Um,
TJ.
Yeah, it's
I'm annoyed.
really. Gee, I wonder why.
Well, besides the obvious things, I
Hmm.
can't I can't find my earbuds that I usually use.
Oh yeah, that. Trust me, if you don't have earbuds, that fucks you over. Trust me, I found that out the other day.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so
finishing
the
up my
advantage.
dishes and preparing for dinner, so I'm going to let you guys talk. I'll just chime in here and there.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. But it's just been. I am at a loss of words when you basically. He was in court today. I don't know if you saw my opening. He was in court. The temperament station was in court today. The judge asked some questions about defying his ruling, and they're basically telling him, "Go fuck yourself. We don't have to say anything to you. We don't have to complain on it. What are you going to do about it?" That's the bottom line out of the legalese, is what I heard. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
I mean,
I think there's a complication to that. And the complication is Donald Trump has immunity for official acts. But all the motherfuckers that work for Donald Trump don't have immunity for official acts. So a judge, particularly a federal judge, has the ability to issue warrants. So if you don't comply with an order, the judge can say, "Okay, fuckface, you don't want to comply with my order? Well, we'll issue warrants for your arrest." So even though they're not giving him answers, the people who are responsible from Homeland Security are, I guess, in a way, vulnerable. Because even if Donald Trump tries to pull some shit like, "Oh, I'll pardon him," they still have to go through the judicial process.
yeah, it's just that he really doesn't. I mean, all the Trump sycophants are just basically saying we don't listen to judges, saying judges don't control us. And that, I mean, from Tom Homan to the Uber Führer Stephen Miller, and tell me if I'm wrong because I'm saying this. Doesn't he look like the reincarnation of Heinrich Himmler? Heinrich Himmler, or is it me? He does. Tell me. Look up the pictures. Tell me I'm wrong, because you know I'm right. And he
Yeah,
talks like him.
yeah.
And it's in all this you've seen, like what I refer to now as the ethnic cleansing is coming from Miller. He couldn't do that in the first Trump administration because there were a lot of people who were still true civil servants going, no, you can't. Legal, you can't. And they were fighting it. Now there's no one like that in the Trump White House. They are all sycophants. They are loyalists. It's literally a cult. The only thing missing is, it's like some kind of hoods, and they have candles, and they do some kind of ritual every time.
Well,
Maybe they're doing that now. That's scary.
well, here's the thing. John
I
Roberts.
was just about to say we really don't know, do we?
No, we don't.
John Roberts is shitting his pants right now because what they're doing will invalidate the whole judicial branch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So John Roberts is not liking this, and whether people know this or not, judges talk. They're not like just out there in the ether on their own. These motherfuckers talk from the Supreme Court all the way down to U.S. District Court. So if Trump invalidates the whole judicial branch, it's over for them. And John Roberts is going to be standing there with his least impressive appendage in his hand. So what I think will happen is that these lower level government officials will start getting hit with warrants and arrest warrants, and they're going to start getting hit with contempt of court for not following directives. It doesn't matter about Donald Trump. It matters about his lackeys that work underneath him. So they'll and of course people are going to say, well, they'll arrest one and then they'll just replace him with another sycophant. Well, that's fine, but when it happens 10 times, I mean, what where's the end of it? I mean, are we going to have, prosecutions of 15 people for the same crime? I mean,
I mean, I don't know. It's the insanity is. Like, by the way, Bass Man. Yeah, we know the Democrats are fucked. Don't keep repeating the same question, you fucking troll.
where is this?
I mean, what you copy and paste? Be more original, okay? And Democrats they lied. No, motherfucker. Hey, you want us? Ask to come on. Please ask to come on. Please ask to come on. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Why is there asked to come on? No, he doesn't. Go fuck
have
yourself.
the fucking balls to do.
No, and the thing about it is that for his that's question, yes, the Democratic Party approval was 27%, and that was done in one day by Chuck Schumer.
Right.
Period. End discussion. JD's here, Rebecca's here. How you doing, sir and ma'am?
I'm doing well.
All right. So it's been. I spent the weekend, Saturday night, listening to the wind and the rain roll over my house here in Georgia. We got lucky. But after reading the reports of what happened in the other states, there are 35 people dead. There's a huge amount of damage, and not one word from the Trump administration about this.
Where's
Not
FEMA?
one fucking word. There is no more FEMA.
Where's FEMA?
And here's the thing. I kept getting comments when I did my video on it about, well, Joe Biden didn't do anything in North Carolina. Joe Biden didn't do anything. Memo to those motherfuckers now. FEMA, the Trump administration is asking for the $250 million that FEMA put out to North Carolina. They want it returned by the state now.
That's just.
They want it returned. Welcome to the real world, you dumbasses. I mean,
how are we going to fund the tax cuts for billionaires? We have to, recoup that money somehow.
anyway, JD, how you doing tonight?
Pretty wild. Yeah, we actually had the tornadoes Friday night. That was fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, do you know? I saw this, and then someone kind of gave me some information. During all that, they had some kind of handbag party in Mar-a-Lago with these French handbags, with all these people coming. Some kind of thing that he was supporting. Do you know how much? Someone told me how much the handbags cost a piece.
How much?
$500,000.
Oh my god.
What were they doing? Auctioning them or something?
No, they were giving them away. They were
this
giving them
is
out to people at this party because they were all supporters. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Annie.
this is like let them eat cake. This is
Yeah,
what this reminds me of. Like the people are destitute, and these people are so out of touch and out of tune. Out of tune now. The legend goes that they don't know if she really said that or not. But I mean, they're saying it to us in so many ways. Like the lady who said,
actually,
what was it over agriculture? Everybody just
right.
go buy
Oh
chickens.
yeah,
I
get
live
a
in the
chicken.
city. Yeah,
Get a chicken.
just
Get a
out of
chicken.
touch.
I saw that. I saw that, and it was like I'm going. And I said that on Mike's podcast. She's out of her mind. She's never worked a farm in her fuck life. Never been in green grass. And to answer your question, historically, about Marie Antoinette, my first history teacher told me this. It wasn't that she was being mean. It came later. It's that she was not very bright. When they asked her, the people don't have bread, she thought, oh, okay, just let them eat cake. Because she just wasn't smart
So
enough to make the connection. It's
so
just as
history
bad,
really
I
does
know.
repeat itself. We got another unsmart person
Yep.
with this. Like, damn, it's fools run the world.
I mean,
I'll tell you,
Hi,
anybody who's
Rebecca. How
ever
you
actually
doing?
owned chickens knows that they're mean motherfuckers and they're not fun to raise.
No,
I
they're
have
and they
40
shit
of them.
everywhere.
I have 40 of them. They kind of suck.
There's a garden, like a community garden in the middle of my block. And when my son was younger, they asked he and I to take care of the chickens. And of course, we got to keep the eggs. So I have a little knowledge, but you're right, they're mean as shit.
We used to have them every year, and they're good for like the first I don't know, few couple months, and then as soon as they start getting older, they I wasn't allowed to go in the chicken coop to collect the eggs anymore because they'd peck the living shit out of you when you go in there.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. They don't. It's here we are. We are in a fantasy world with people with power, and that's the scary thing. That all this that we're saying here, that we're talking about, they are pushing this narrative that America is shit and America is about to burn down, so we have to save it. And that's not true. It wasn't that when they got elected. Hey Shane, what's up?
Hey everyone.
Hey,
Really,
so
They give us the most ridiculous alternatives. Buy chickens. Your grandparents can watch your parents can watch your kids for you.
all right, Shane, you were saying?
I was saying I'm really upset, scared. I'm on Social Security and man, I don't know what's gonna happen.
They already. There was a guy in Seattle. I just read this today, where he's 82, and the Doge people got in there and declared him dead, and he hasn't gotten his check,
He hasn't got it in 2
and they
months.
don't know. Yeah, and he doesn't know he's going to get his check back or not, or get his money back. That's
Yeah,
his income. That's his life.
would they take $5,000 out of his account?
Yeah, they stole 5 grand out of his bank
All
account.
his money.
And
Yeah, I
and
just
Doge also. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Shane.
no, I'm just saying I don't know if I'm gonna get my check. I'm waiting for it, but I
Right.
don't know.
Hey, Shane. Shane,
Yeah.
could you turn down the background noise, whatever's going on there?
Oh yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. Yeah, and then one thing I read today, because stories, the thing about being in this world is that everything rolls up. I don't touch anything. I don't read anything overnight, right? Or anything. I'll be up early because the Dodger game is 6 in the morning, but that's a different call. But and then all of a sudden these stories come up, and there was one story that says that Elon Musk and Doge, instead of if you get an overpayment in Social Security, they take back the overpayment. They're literally canceling people's checks. They're just canceling checks. They're dropping them out of the system because they got overpaid.
Hey, Will, fuck it.
They're yes,
Let
sir.
him, let him fucking do it.
They're determined to do it.
Let
No
him.
offense, Shane. They are
Let him do it.
because that's the thing. They really believe if they did it, everyone would be happy.
Yeah.
If they pull Social Security,
When they
and I
show,
don't know where to get that idea.
when they show up with burning torches on their doorsteps, we'll see how that works.
There'll be a lot of
I mean,
family.
and-
There'll be a lot of family GoFundMe's happening, so these people can freaking survive.
I mean, and that's the thing. I've never seen the lack of empathy. I mean, it was bad enough, but this is just beyond belief. And did you catch the bubble-headed bleach blonde that comes out at Fives Act today at the press conference? She had the fucking gall to sit there and say tariffs are paid by foreign countries to us. They don't raise prices and they cut taxes.
Yeah.
She fucking said that, and then a reporter called him and goes, I pay tariffs. It doesn't go. And she goes, don't you question me how the economy works or the president? And I'm going, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then she came back with some snarky ass thing like, I regret calling the AP News for a question. Or something.
Yeah.
It's just it's like, how
I mean,
old are you? 5? Come on.
well, I mean, there's no economic base for anything she said. Not a fucking word, not a fucking background. And this is and MAGA eats it up. Trust me, I get those comments. MAGA eats that shit up. It's ridiculous.
I
I
want to
mean,
know. I want to know why she has.
go ahead.
I want to know why she has a zin in her upper lip.
As in,
She looks like Cindy Lou Who, if you ever really paid attention.
John knows what I'm
oh
talking.
no, don't bring Cindy Lou in here. That's no. Oh, she's
She looks
sweet.
like the
That's an insult.
Cindy Lou who's
Okay, I'll take it back. Cindy Lou Who from Timu.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I can buy that. That's fine. So it's just, oh my god. I mean, and that's the thing. I feel half the time I'm in the rapids with my one oar. Hopefully, I can find a rock to push off of. It's a lot.
Here's my
And go ahead.
so we were talking about, I mean, like with them trying to go after Social Security and them doing all this bullshit, and then they're sitting there on their palace giving away $500,000 purses and whatever. When it happens, I mean, it's at some point there's going to be a straw that breaks the camel's back, and there's going to be a groundswell in this country. And when it happens, they're going to just be totally and completely blindsided.
Then what's the reaction? What did they do? Call out the military?
I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
I mean,
I think something's gonna happen, and it's gonna be too fast for them to react like that. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. But
because I brought this up because Coach Mox had a video and I made a comment, because he's like, what do we, he was just basically talking about the same things we are. And I just made a comment. I mean, it's up for, security service or the military to step up. And the comments I get is that everyone thinks the military is Trump's handbag.
yeah,
Everyone thinks that police are all behind Trump. I talk to vets and they tell me no. I mean, why people think that about the military at this point?
I think some are.
Because of Hegseth and the fact that he's trying to have an army full of loyalists.
But they do know that vets. There are a lot of vets out there who basically still have their battle rattle, are ready to go for it. I mean, I
Yes,
mean,
they do.
Shane agrees. I mean, I
Amen.
don't see. That's the thing. Uh, They really, people on the far extreme think that Trump has already co-opted the military. I don't see that. I don't hear it from these guys. They made a mistake in voting for him, but I think they're realizing that he wouldn't destroy the Constitution. Um, I mean, he's literally tearing the Constitution up in front of us, and everyone's like, and what I'm worried about, there's so many shrugs of shoulders on this, especially from the Democratic leadership, that disturbs me to the core. Because I don't know what. That's what I keep telling you guys. I say I wish I had an answer. I don't. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to keep everyone alive right now or move forward. Um, I mean, I can't predict. I mean, what you guys are seeing, if it does, like JD says, if it comes to a head, what happens? How bad can it get? We talk about January 6th times 20,
Yeah,
30?
like the French Revolution.
I'm not entirely sure,
Possible.
but I know that me and my family were preparing. I'm actually making a tote garden right now because, of course, I live in the city, so I only have a back porch. And I mean, just kind of brace for impact. Do what you can to insulate yourself and your family. I mean, I'm a little lucky because I'm in Illinois. I'm in a blue city, but I
Well,
mean, to be honest with you, Illinois is a red state with one big blue city and a Democratic governor. So, I mean,
California.
it can get kind of crazy here too.
Me too. I'm glad I'm in Minnesota.
But wait a minute,
Yeah.
Minnesota. It was one of the Minnesota reps that introduced that bill for Trump derangement syndrome to be a mental illness.
I don't
I mean,
know about
like
That,
that.
that
hot meat kettle.
yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, we know it's not go far, but my thought was is that going back to history, during the times of the Soviet Union, if you did not support the Soviet Union, you were mentally ill and you were put away, and that worries. You know, that's authoritarians testing the water, like this court thing. He literally wants to see how far he can get before people really get mad. And that's where we're getting to right now. What if he ignores everything? And does it go to the Supreme Court, or we all just sit there and go, oh, well, that's the thing. Um, that worries me immensely at this point. And I don't have a solution or idea what to say. One thing I want to ask you guys, the incident in Boston, Fabian Schmidt, have you guys heard about that?
no.
No.
No,
Okay,
what
so
happened?
Fabian Schmidt is a green card holder from Luxembourg. He was returning home last weekend, back to Boston, to back his home in New Hampshire through Boston. For some reason, his green card flagged. He was picked up by ICE agents in Logan Airport. He was then taken to a back room, forced to strip, showered in cold water, and questioned for hours. He was so abused, he ended up having to go to Mass General. And instead of charging him, he's now in ICE custody in Rhode Island on no charges. We don't know why. He has been disappeared. And just to put it this way, that man is pale, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And there's not one word from the media, nothing. This man is sitting in jail for no reason at all
This is
and
becoming
Yeah,
tortured.
Russia.
he's like a blue-eyed ginger. Like he's not like there's no.
He's like an Aryan dude almost.
Yeah, yeah, right.
He's a,
Like
And
he's the
honky.
definition of German.
He's a honky like me.
Right? And the point is that there's no due process.
Not
And that's the thing.
hunky.
I didn't use it. That didn't come out of me.
You mean he's like Johnny Winter?
Say again?
I said, you mean he's like Johnny Winter?
Pretty much. But the point is, like, what drives me nuts is that they're picking up people. ISIS picking up people without, and then taking away without hearings, without a judge answering their questions. Are they a criminal or not? If you're arresting someone, why? What's the charge? He needs to get in front of a judge. He's allowed bail, habeas corpus. They're not doing that. They're just picking up people, and no one is stopping them. The judge ordered a stay, and they ignored it. There are other people who have been green cards have been hassled by ICE and picked up. They're vanishing people. I mean, this is some Chilean bullshit. And I don't know, because the Department of Justice is all in on Trump, and I don't know. This is scary. That's scary. That's way scary than
I
anything
think it's
else.
a lot of go along. I think it's a lot of go along to get along because they know if not him, he's weaponized the Justice Department. His sycophants, as I like to call them, Trumpansies, are going to go crazy. Trained dogs on them. So it's like they'd rather just the least path of resistance at this point.
But go ahead, JT.
No, I didn't have anything.
How about
Yeah,
that?
because I'm just like,
How about that
go
Bradley
ahead.
Bartel guy? There's this guy Bradley Bartel who he's married to a girl from Peru. They were on their honeymoon in Puerto Rico, and they were coming back into the United States. Well, not that Puerto Rico isn't, but they were coming back into the mainland, and they got detained. He voted for Trump.
Yeah, how'd that work for you, brother?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's,
The lepers
I voted
ate
for
his
Trump.
face.
Why are they picking on me and my family?
and that's
Well,
the thing. They want this to happen. They want everything to collapse. They want to get rid of government, but they want government to cater to them. MAGA's finding that out. You don't matter to him anymore. You don't. He got your votes. He doesn't give a shit other than being king. And that's the one thing my point with all this. I feel we're at the point where he has just declared he's king by ignoring courts. And he proclaimed it. Now what? That's what he's saying. Now what? What you gonna do? And they're cooperating. The Republican Party makes me ill. They're just cooperating. Period. They don't care. And
They
they
have no
like it.
balls whatsoever.
Hey,
And it's
Superdog.
not.
Superdog, request up. Request up. You don't got the balls.
He
Come on
won.
out, buddy.
Hey,
Come on out.
by the way, hey, Superdog, have you ever read the Bible? Have you ever read what the words Jesus said, as in welcome the stranger, bring, help the poor, Superdog? If you want to discuss it, I'm not even going to talk political. I'll talk religion on it with you. Where are you,
you
dude?
know,
I see
they
that.
this is the thing. The Jesus that they love and support is Jim Crow Jesus, not the real Jesus.
No. And that's another thing that just breaks my heart. They keep using religion as an excuse,
They hide
which
behind.
has been done for centuries, I know, but
And you know what
it's.
else? And you know what else? Fuck Superdog, and I'll tell you why. Because I had an immigrant from 2020 to 2021 live in my home with me. So fuck you, Superdog. You
Yes,
can
he did.
fuck fucking 100 dicks.
He's one of our best friends in the entire world.
Yeah, he's an immigrant from Iraq that made his way here, helping the U.S. military during the Iraq War. And I helped him. I helped him get a job and make something of himself in this country. So fuck Superdog. You can go fuck yourself, you piece of shit.
And that's the comments I get when I bring up immigration. They're illegals. They're costing us money. They don't belong here. They're protecting us from the cartels. I want to make this clear to every MAGA because I know you're watching because you like to fuck with us. If you get rid of, there is no way drugs are never going to come in the United States again. They always come in. They've been coming in for decades, 50s, 40s, 50s, all the time. Cartels are just a new version of how drugs get into the United States. So stop that bullshit. It's not going to work. There's a market, and there always will be a supply. Deal with it. And don't use it as an excuse to go after everyone
And
you
with the
think is part of some
economy,
kind of gang or cartel. Go ahead, I'm
and
sorry.
Will, with the economy tanking the way it is, and people losing their jobs, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to cope some way or another. So the drugs ain't stopping. And the way this market is crashing, I expect a lot of these people, these entitled ass people, to lose everything, suddenly develop a case of window cancer, just like they did during the 1929 when everything crashed.
And it's not looking good at all. The economy is teetering. It just takes one more step. And the idea of keep selling this tariff bullshit is ridiculous. They keep selling that. Don't worry about it. We're going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible for a little bit, but it'll be okay afterwards. No, it's not.
Well,
You can't go up and then down and then back up. So,
coincidentally,
um,
that immigrant that I lived with is in this live.
He is
who?
millennial.
The millennial.
Oh, Melania. I think I sent an invitation to him. If you hadn't already. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's the
Well,
way it should be. I mean, that's the way it should be. Go ahead, Miss Hampton.
I'm gonna drop down because I'm actually cooking
Sure.
and I don't want to make a lot of noise.
No, you don't want to
Because
burn anything either.
yeah, especially since it's my favorite meal, some salmon croquettes and rice.
Oh, nice.
I'm yeah. And plus, this is how I treat myself and kind of my stress reliever right now, along with the gardening, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But I'm in and out of these TikTok streets a lot, and I asked the Trump supporter, and he crashed out. This is the thing with all of these EOs that he's writing. It's only to hurt and erase and marginalize people. But you guys haven't gotten anything done about the price of eggs or anything like that. So I asked him, why is it that he was in a rush to hurt people, but you have to wait for your help? And of course, he couldn't answer that.
Nope.
But I mean, that's a good question. Why do you have to wait for your help? But he was in a he was in a hurry to hurt and, do paper G-sides of people. When all he
Yeah.
has to do is with a stroke of his pen. I mean, it boggles my mind. But thank you for having me up. It was always a
No
pleasure
problem.
talking to you
Thank you, ma'am.
guys. All right, y'all have a wonderful night.
You too. Enjoy your meal.
And
Thank
hey,
you.
Millennial, how you
Bye-bye.
doing?
Good. How are you, Will?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming in. And as Sarno, if you want up, say up, and we'll talk about the far left. I'll do that all day, every day, dude.
He's got himself I don't know
Anytime.
what that status is, so we can't what is when it's like TJ? Do you know when he's not white, when it's grayed out?
I fixed
So
it.
much.
There you go. I fixed it.
Okay.
He doesn't have
Okay, gotcha.
he doesn't have the fucking balls to do it.
No, I
No,
blocked
they
him
won't.
out.
It's another fucking idiot Russian bot troll.
It's beautiful. But
I took
it's
that.
been
I took that as being like he was talking about tankies that didn't vote for Genocide Joe or whatever. But maybe I was wrong.
oh no, that's fine. I mean, I will dance that dance all day because I agree.
Listen, you
Um,
can't request up when you don't speak English and you only speak Russian.
True.
I'm just telling you guys. This motherfucker ain't requesting up.
Yeah, true.
so, Millennial, hi, how you doing? So, what do you think about this entire? I can't even call it a mess anymore. It's beyond that.
About what? You gotta.
Oh, um, The most, yeah, I know. I got to be specific. There's so much. Basically, the immigration thing. I think that's the most important thing right now. What they're doing to many people who are
Well,
naturalized citizens.
well, here's my thought about immigration. I feel immigration in the U.S. it's kind of broke for a long time, and there's no doubt about that. Like they need like to reform the immigration system in the U.S. Like, that's how I feel about it. I
Well,
mean,
I have a question. I might be wrong about this, but like it seems like there's certain countries that it's way easier to get a visa, a green card, to immigrate to the U.S. And I feel like it's easier for Asian countries because they come here with the promise of like they build a lot of buildings, especially like I lived in New York City for 17 years, so they build a lot of buildings. They come in with a lot of their money, and I'm and nothing against this by any means because my company that I was working for has a lot of Chinese employees and a lot of Chinese customers that we built elevators for, and it seems like they have it's like smooth sailing for them to come into the U.S. compared to a Hispanic country. Am I wrong about that?
Well, yeah, it's about dollars. It's about dollars.
But
Right, like
yeah,
but
yeah,
also, yeah, but also if you notice that the transplant doctor from Lebanon that was deported after coming back from Lebanon, and she had a green card, and she's educated. There's no reason why they did it. They just did it.
No, there's a reason why they did it. It's about racism.
yeah, right. That's about racism. But I'm just talking in general. Like
Yep.
there's countries that it's so much easier for them to come into our country. Like if you're Mexican and you want to try to get into this country, like unless literally you have a skill we need or something we can exploit, like we're not letting you come in. But
Nope.
like or we're not gonna make it easy for you at the very minimum.
yes, that's correct because they consider Mexico is on the what do you call it? It's on the red flag. They flag it. It's one of the terrorist country because of the cartel and all that bullshit.
Well, same thing for the Middle East. Same thing
Yes,
for
like there's like 14 country are banned, like Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, all those countries. And that's not like this has been going on for a long time. It's because it's hard. The problem is because I born in one of those country, and the problem is it's hard to trust people in this country because there's so much terrorist in these country. You know what I mean? And like they have to go through security clearances. They have to go through a lot of stuff. And the problem is the U.S. told us country a long time ago, even when Obama was, when Bush was in control, to clean their corruption, and they don't want to do it. They're just corrupt country. So the U.S. said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna put ban on them till they fix their shit."
I get a little bit of that for safety reasons. Like we don't. I mean, obviously we had 9/11, and there's a lot of issues surrounding that would cause us to have caution.
Yes.
But like it's like we like the Mexicans, like what like they say Mexicans don't have anything to they think that we don't like Mexicans don't have anything to offer here, or Hispanics don't have anything to offer here, so they have to like sneak into the country rather than like whereas like if you're Chinese and you come saying like, oh, I'm going to bring Chinese money over here and build a bunch of buildings, like they just fly in for free and they give them the
I
visa right away and there's no problems.
I just don't believe like a lot of people said, "Oh, they just can walk in the border." I think that's bullshit. Our border
It
is
is
not like
bullshit.
open, you know what I mean? There's a lot of law enforcement. There's a border patrol. There's a cameras. It's not like they letting people all in. It's like a propaganda, and it's been like this for a long time. That border, when I was even a kid, I was hearing about this bullshit.
Explain
It's
that.
a it's the boogeyman. Lady J is in with us, and how you doing tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you all doing?
We're doing all well. Just kind of as the title of this thing, trying to figure out a way to unfuck this mess.
That's
That's where we're at right now.
yeah, I feel you.
So, I mean, the thing, we, I'm concerned about perceptions more than anything else. And the hardest thing that happened over the last week was the budget. And one thing that bothers me to this day is the perception that all Democrats are Chuck Schumer. And they're not. They're not. The problem is he's leadership. And now I got to ask them, how do you get rid of your leaders? Can you can you call a no confidence vote on a minority leader?
Absolutely, you can.
I mean, why don't they?
Democratic Party. The Democratic Party could call for a vote of no confidence.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they could.
Absolutely. And the answer to that is because they're pussies.
They won't do it.
Because the hardest thing I've been it's the aftermath is like those people think that everything's going to be okay. It's just going to fix itself. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. It's just one of those cycles. And they don't see it. They don't see it. They don't see on the ground what's going on. They don't hear the people. They keep thinking that it's going to be all right. They're lucky that Trump's incompetent, or this could have been worse already. So that's the thing. It's not a point of Republicans. Now we got to figure out what to do with the other party who has this tendency to just say, oh, okay, that's good. We can't do that anymore. We can't. And I don't have I mean, the Democratic chairman, do you really want that? I mean, there's got to be people watching this going, well, we should do something in this. They can do something, but they don't want to do it. Or is it just me just sitting there going, hopefully there's someone over there going, we got to stop this shit and planning? Or is it just me hoping?
Yeah. TJ, can't they challenge the leader?
What?
Like can Jasmine or ALT challenge the leader of the Senate?
Yes, the AOC are in the House, not the Senate.
Yeah, that's not the Senate.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But someone had a good comment, like Mark Kelly, something like that, someone like that. The problem is that he's got
Hey, Captain Crunch,
some senators.
get up here. Captain Crunch, put your money where your mouth is.
I know that's right.
So what is?
Balls to do it.
Get up here, you pussy.
Pussy.
Can't even spell
You pussy. Come on, Captain Crunch, motherfucker. Come on. You don't got the balls.
Come on up here, bro.
It's funny that he says this is how you guys spend your time, but it's so entertaining.
Oh, yeah, you don't have the balls to come up and talk your shit.
Show us how it's done,
He's
bitch.
spending his time trolling a bunch of the intelligent
You're a weak
people.
ass beta bitch. That's what you are. Weak motherfucker. Come on, request up. Come on, you weak ass bitch.
I know that's right, TJ.
Come on. What are you waiting for? You got
I hit the invite button.
You got nothing,
I know.
bitch.
We're so entertaining, but he won't come up here.
Oh, we're so entertaining.
Like his butt.
Come on up here and laugh at us.
Trump.
Go
Show us how dumb we are. Come on.
Yeah, come on, motherfucker. Let's see. Let's see what you know.
Coward.
Come on. Let's see.
Come on up and own the libs, please.
Yeah, he's gonna own the lib. Fuck you, you little bitch. Fuck you.
You should be easy pickings for you,
Fucking
bitch.
clown.
Did anybody block him yet?
Oh no, he left
Oh,
because he was in the list. I hit invite, and then he poof.
Oh, what a pussy.
Ran
Look,
with his tail
dude.
between his legs, did he?
Hold on. Everybody stop talking. This is how we should treat these motherfuckers every time they come here.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, TJ.
I agree.
Yep.
That's how we should
I mean,
treat
if you want
them every fucking time. because they can't understand anything else. If they don't have the balls to come up here and talk to us, then fuck them.
Right.
I actually have a
Exactly.
I
lot.
agree.
And
I actually have a lot more respect for those couple that we get once in a while that come up, like on Mike's lives or like when they
Yeah,
show up. I
yeah,
have a lot more
I
respect
agree
for
with
them.
that. Like that guy that came up, that his name was Nope. Like
Yeah,
he was probably the smartest Republican I've ever talked to. You
yeah,
know?
he was. He was. Yeah, he was.
so was he Trumplican or was he Republican?
Uh,
I would say Republican. He didn't really do anything to defend Trump per se,
I could
but
tell.
he did vote
Hey,
for him.
John, let me tell you how that works. If you're going to talk shit, just look at the comments now, guys. If
oh,
you're going to talk shit, be prepared what happens. See, because it's not that we'll jump you, but if you talk shit and get dropped in, then it's all on.
well,
If
listen.
you want to talk about stuff with any kind of um, semblance of order, fine. Talk shit, get burned. Simple as
Yeah,
that. Sorry, TJ. Go ahead.
John, to answer your question, I actually usually try to scream at everybody to shut the hell up and list and ask like questions of that person because I don't want them to be jumped on until they say something incredibly stupid and then we'll jump on them.
Yeah,
But I usually try to like tell everybody to like calm the hell down and like
Yeah,
I try to be really diplomatic about the whole thing because I want to hear what they have to say and
we'll
then
have several conversations with you, but if you're not brave enough to come up and talk to us, then too bad. Then you get ridiculed like the pussy that you are. So sorry, John.
and then also if your opening comment is talking crap, then you're going to get what you want. Simple as that. I have a question. Do you believe honestly that a politician damn really cares about us? Some, John.
yeah, there
Some.
some more on the
There's
local
some.
level, more on the local level and then on the federal level, but some.
And I think some in the federal level. What we're dealing
Yeah,
with on the
there's some in the
Democratic
federal level.
side is a massive disconnect of reality. They're still living in the world that doesn't exist. They still think Trump will go away because it'll happen.
Yeah,
It's kind of like COVID. It'll go away.
because
But they don't. Go
we have
ahead.
too many Republicans, Democrats that are fucking 90 years old. They need to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Exactly.
Time where they need to get the fuck out of here. John,
Absolutely.
and that's my answer to John. Yeah,
And we also have some Democrats that are a disappointment that we elected that we thought were going to be good, like Fetterman.
John Fetterman.
Yes.
We honestly like
Yeah.
we supported him
Did
through all
you?
of his everything all his
Did
medical and mental issues.
This
Did
guy
you
is
see what he did to AOC? Go ahead, Melanie. I'm sorry. I'll get to that in a
go
minute.
ahead.
You were saying no. He called her out for having no decorum for talk and the way she dresses in the house.
Are you kidding me? I
She
did not see that.
no, I'm
Holy
not.
crap.
Go look
So
for
a
it.
guy
And
who
she
wears a
turned around.
sweatshirt.
Yeah, she turned around and said, "At least I don't wear a hoodie." And you see, that's the
Wow.
thing. They turned on her because they consider her a progressive rabble rouser. They are literally old school stupidity,
but Will,
and it's not going to work.
that's all they've got. That's all they've got. That's all they've got.
I can pretty much guarantee Fetterman's going to be primary.
Yeah, well, Will, they can't defend their position at all. So
John
that's all
No,
they got.
John Fetterman. He is the biggest joke for PA. He like since the beginning. I never believed in him. And to be honest, I think he even faked his mental problem and all that shit that he had. He just lost my respect 100%. And anyone support him, he's a loser like him.
And it's pathetic because his like we supported him like Pennsylvania voters supported him through all of his medical issues, all of his mental issues. His wife is an immigrant. Like we all supported him wholeheartedly. Like
And
he
what do we
seemed
get
to
in
be
return?
genuine.
What do we get in return for that?
Yeah. And we were I wouldn't say friends with him, but we knew him personally.
Yeah, we know John. Oh wow. And he went off the deep end.
and I don't know what happened, what changed him, how
He
it
sold
happened.
out. That's what happened. He sold out.
Then wear a suit.
Which is stupid because I don't understand how he thinks that like any Democrat in Pennsylvania who voted for him is going to the next time. Like, there's no way.
I hope he gets
And
primaried.
Yeah, me too.
and
I
the
seriously hope he gets
and
primaried. I'm certainly not going to
and
vote.
For background information, John Fetterman won the Senate race because he was lieutenant governor. That's it.
yeah, and also let's face it, Oz was really a
Yeah,
joke.
and he was running against
I
Dr.
mean,
Oz. It's a joke.
Oz was a carpetbagger. Everybody knew that he didn't live in Pennsylvania, so they fucking sent him packing. But
I-
the only
I-
reason why John won was because he was lieutenant governor.
Is he a good lieutenant governor?
He was fine as lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the lieutenant governor has such limited powers.
Well,
true.
the lieutenant governor in the state has the same power as the vice president. So he's a tie-breaking vote in the Senate.
Right. Which, again, limits.
I'm. All I think is when 2026 come up, it's time for a clean house. You know.
Yeah,
I've been saying this for a long time, but I really do think that we're going to have pretty close to an entirely new Congress after 2026, at least on the Democratic side. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
I mean, yeah, because I don't think people like. Go ahead,
the
Jenny.
establishment Democrats are really showing who they are right now, and nobody likes it. Like, absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
And the point is, it's not.
There's a few really good ones that are gonna that will definitely hold their positions, but
Right, yeah, and those people will be fine, you know, like the Al Greens and Jasmine Crockett, and like, you know, they'll be fine. But like, you know, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin, Nancy Pelosi, all these people that have been in there since the fucking Reagan administration, they're going to be gone.
I mean, look at Chuck Schumer. I mean, he is embarrassing. I mean, since the beginning, I mean, he looked like a little kid. You know.
The thing about it is, they keep saying is we were not. The sad thing about this is they're buying into the Trump and Republican side that he was trying to prevent those evil progressives and those far lefters from messing with Trump, messing with the budget. But it's not about that. We don't. It's not a far left or a policy thing. It was just once. Just say no. You can't have what you want, Trump. Fuck
Right.
you. And we might have. They might have lost, but you would have looked a little bit more. And the thing about it is, you should have been in negotiations with that for months. You should have told them, no, we're not taking that. I'm not taking that. We're not going to vote till you give us what I want. We won't give you cloture. But he didn't do that. They didn't get that thing until 15 minutes later and said, oh, okay. See, that's what pisses everyone off. It's not about the policy. It's about the lack of standing up as an opposition party. That's the problem. Republicans have been an opposition party for decades. They'll stop anything. They don't care. I mean, that's what they do. If the other side says white, they say black. It's what it is. But Democrats are hung on this bipartisan thing, which worked in the 80s, didn't work in the 90s to an extent, and doesn't work now. Bipartisanship to Republicans means appeasement and surrender. And these guys don't get it.
there is no like. I'm definitely not far left, and a lot of AOC's like actual like policies are kind of foreign to me because I'm very middle of the road. But there is no far left anymore. Like there's no far left. Like because we're not fighting for like those far left radical ideals anymore. We're fighting for basic human rights and decency and like that. So there
Empathy.
like, that whole yes and empathy yes and that whole far left ideal is not going to be in play for a long time because we have to get back to just us being able to like care about people again. Like there's no it's just it's absolutely ridiculous. Like there's going to be no far left ideals. There isn't because you can't get a moderate left ideal freaking passed. How are you going to get a far left one?
I mean, when the idea of you can't, free lunch for kids makes those guys talk about they should get a job. Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's 6. That don't mean shit to
or
them.
high school
And the
kids,
worst,
girls having tampons in their bathrooms. Like it's
yeah.
like
And the thing about it is that if you want the capper on that, two things. One, did you see that state legislature and a state senator in Ohio talk about disabled kids and how much they cost people to educate?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
my God. And the thing about it is this, he said they take away money from children who live in loving homes.
Well, hey,
What
Will,
the fuck?
Will, they want to totally eliminate Title IX. They want to eliminate
Yes.
Title IX to totally disable funding for disabled children. That is the most fucked up thing I could ever fucking think of.
And you want the worst one is Tennessee has brought back this thing. They brought back some kind of weird ass safety marriage thing, man be woman only. But in the bill, they have removed an age limit for marriage.
of course they have. Does
Well,
that surprise you? Like that's like
No, it
their
doesn't. But they just, it's like, you sit there and go, what? I mean,
know.
they're,
are you surprised?
and you roll your eyes and you can't go, you can't,
Are you
you
surprised?
can't really think that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
don't,
these are the same people that brought you child, like let's repeal child labor laws after COVID because they didn't have anybody to work.
and that's the thing. It's like they talk about life, right to life, and
Oh yeah, they're
supporting
pro
families,
life until
but
that
they
kid
will
comes out.
not yeah, they won't support family anything. And the worst thing is to have them listen to their excuses. There is no way to justify it. And if you look at who's in the cabinet now, who are all billionaires, the Commerce Secretary was out and about on the weekends, basically saying, "No one cares about the tariffs. They don't need to buy anything. No, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Fuck them." Because he's $512 million worth of net worth, and he's running the American economy, which means he doesn't give a shit about the middle class. We're nothing but fodder.
I mean, this
And
is
that's the thing. Go ahead, Malia.
I
Sorry.
mean, this is just one guy. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's pocketing the whole government in his pocket. You know, it's just unbelievable. I don't know where that conflict of interest is gonna stop.
Oh, well, $8 million a
Because
day.
Trump is a rolling pocket of, a rolling conflict of interest.
He turned the White
This
House to a
is,
business.
yeah, no. I mean, is the White House now a Tesla dealership? Just asking for a friend, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I guess they're doing commercials for him now. So
Well, sure.
I mean, and learn the truth. What truth,
Hey,
Larry?
Larry.
Come on up, Larry.
What truth?
so he's got that weird thing too. Like, why is it like grayed out like
I'll
that?
approve his comment. Larry Martinez, request up if you're so smart. Bet you won't.
Learn what truth? I want the truth. Tell me your truth.
Yeah, let's hear your truth. Come on, brother. Request up.
Show us how dumb we are. Come on up here.
Yeah. You can own us libtards. Come on. You can own us libtards. This is your chance. This is your chance to own us libtards. Oh.
Truth?
Oh, what
What
happened,
truth?
Larry? Oh, what happened? What
You
happened?
see,
Larry, go away.
we're not.
I think you made him. I think you made him cry, TJ.
Oh,
Hey, here's. I see lives all the time where people just put up a sign, tell me Donald Trump, prove to me Donald Trump's the greatest president, and they spend 2 hours arguing. I can't do that bullshit.
piece of shit.
I can't do that. It's insane. I mean, if you want to come up and talk about what you believe is your views, good. We'll talk to you about it. If you want to talk shit, you're going to get shit. But I'm not going to spend 2 hours talking about what's going on for you trying to prove a lie to me. That's
Right.
insane.
TJ,
And I
have
know
you
you do it for clicks and stuff, but I ain't do it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Linda.
TJ, have you told Pat about these lives?
Pat who?
Mackenzie,
No.
you
I don't want
should.
that idiot in there. Are you fucking
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, because he would come up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
And
He doesn't even know how to
who
use
is this?
TJ's friend from high school. Well, I won't say friend. A guy from high school that
He's an idiot.
frequently sends, like, he tells TJ how great friends they are and how much he loves them, but then sends them all these like Trump fuck nonsense that
Gives
TJ
her
then.
all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure, John. I'm sure you have a lot of people like that.
Oh yes, a few.
Yeah, you live in Iowa, of course, or Illinois. Of course, you do.
So these people, I don't get it. Those of you who have those people in your lives, I do not, because they don't. I don't tolerate stupid. Why do they believe like that? Even though in the face of all this, they can see it burning. How do
No,
they
because
excuse it?
honestly, a lot of them can't, because they see what's in their little world, and until you engage with them one on one and you give them some hardcore facts about, like, I said this the other night, I think on Mike's live, or somebody's live. It might not have been Mike's.
No, it was
talking
Mike.
about, was it? I was talking about my cousin, who is a U.S. Marine. He's actually he's just in the reserves now, and he's a recruiter. But he was in the Marines in Afghanistan for, I think he did 4 tours. He was in for quite a while. I asked him. I sent him a message because I was really curious, and I'm like, "Hey, cuz, I gotta ask you, like, what are you feeling about things going on right now?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to get into a political debate, blah blah blah." And I'm like, and I sent him a big message about, like, so you're okay with, like, your wife and daughter being marginalized and not like accepted as like an equal to everybody else. And his wife, I almost can guarantee his wife did not vote for Trump, because his wife she just went back to school, got another degree. She's raising her kids. Like, she's a very intelligent girl, and I'm pretty certain she didn't vote for Trump. But, like, I was asking him, and I know he voted for Trump, and he was, and he's like, "Oh, you make a lot of good points." And I really think that when you one-on-one with some of these people, they don't understand what they voted for. They really don't. And I don't mean they're necessarily stupid, because we all want to say that, but, like, a lot of us come from areas that are, like, we're either better educated, like we watch, like, the right social media, like, because we're all on, like, these TikToks and everything, and our For You show intelligent conversation. Their For Yous don't. They're wherever they get their outlet in media doesn't show them this stuff. And yeah, they see some of it, but they also see all the bullshit that comes from all their friends that grew up in the same area, that they're giving them all this, "Oh, well, Doge is cutting all this spending and they're doing this and this," and they believe that because that's the only thing they see.
Yeah, it's also just it's common. Look, I didn't believe like I believe because it just came out of nowhere. I always knew that the message going back to Reagan was bullshit, even before that. But I grew up, like, through the civil rights movement with my mom and what she went through and what I saw, and I knew bullshit when I hear it. And it's just like it's comforting to know that people think like you do. And I guess it's the same thing for them too, even though it seems they can see the cost of it, but they don't acknowledge it. They know the economy's falling apart, and when the Trump administration is asking countries to import eggs for us so we can bring down the price of eggs, that's fucked up.
It is,
That's
but
totally fucked up.
but will they only see what's around them in their environment? And I know, because I'm friends with a lot of my people from my hometown, and I watch, and I don't block them on Facebook, I don't block them on TikTok, I watch their comments, and they truly really don't get it. And not, like, again, not because they're stupid,
It's because you're a product of your environment.
Environment, correct, exactly. Because you're a product of your environment, and these people, like, they literally think that what they see is real, and they're not on the same social media we're on. They're not seeing the same things we're seeing. They're not seeing the facts. They're not seeing they're seeing what they think are the facts.
Their
So
their
let's talk. Go ahead, Manuel. Go ahead, sir.
their level of education is zero. Like maybe minus, not a zero.
No, no, because I there's a lot of people that I went to high school with that went to college, all in the same area. There's lots of colleges around us.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything if they went to the college. That doesn't mean they are educated about politics.
Right, exactly. It's their political education that's lacking.
Yeah, like I have a
You're absolutely
guy.
correct in that.
I work with a guy, and then he was trashing Zelensky, and I told him one question: "What about Putin?" And then he started, I don't know. They just blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they hit a wall. They
Yeah.
can't go beyond the wall, and it's like I mean it's one thing, but see the what bugs me, and this JD, this next question is for you.
Mhm.
There are people in your business who know better, who know what these policies were going to happen, and they still voted for Trump. I mean, did they think it was going to affect them, or did they think it was going to be okay?
I don't think they believed him when he said he was going to do it. I think there's a lot of that.
So what did they vote for then?
I don't know. A lot of it is, I think, Christian, so-called Christian values. I think a lot of it is, no gay people in schools, or no trans people in the bathrooms, or I think a lot of it's like the culture war bullshit.
Okay, so their economic ruin is worth that to them right now.
Can I tell you guys something that's funny?
Go ahead.
So,
Yeah, Dolores, they did.
like this whole argument about bathrooms, okay? And I'm a plumber, right? So I get members that fucking say we don't want men and women's bathrooms and this and that, and I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm like, I'm glad that you think that. I'm like, so in every construction project from this day forward, let's have a gender neutral bathroom. Because in all reality, it's more work for my people, right? Because I'm a plumber. So my people get to construct those bathrooms. I'm like, so if you're so fucking hell bent about people being in bathrooms, let's advocate for more bathrooms for gender neutral people. And they don't know what to say about that. They have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Like they just like their mouth is like wide open. They have nothing to say. Because I'm
Well,
right. I'm
could,
fucking
could,
right.
could, could you imagine Tyler Titus walking into a woman's bathroom, TJ?
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah.
Like that whole thing. Like, we have a friend who ran for office here, who you would never know that he is transgender, except for the fact that he's open about it. But like, if you saw him, you would never know. And
You would
if he
not.
walked into a woman's bathroom, they'd be losing their
They'd
fucking
be
minds,
fucking
even though
losers.
he was born a woman.
Yeah. He has a beard. Like,
Yeah, he has a beard.
that's not a thing. Like,
Just,
so
but
it's
see,
funny.
that's
I hit them with that all the time. They have nothing to say about it.
so basically it is that the lies comfort them. The picking on people who are different comforts them, even though it's going to cost them economically
Well,
and their livelihoods.
it's not going to cost them economically. It's actually going to create more work for them in my arena, right? Because if you have a men's room and a women's room, and then you have a gender neutral bathroom, right? That creates more work for my people. So they should be for that. They should be for that because it creates an extra space that creates more work for them. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and all of and you talk about, and that's the thing. It's a world of stupid right now and perceptions that you sit there and blink and think this can't be real, but it is. People voted for this chaos. And the worst, I mean, when Trump says, I'm going to eliminate all of Biden's pardons because I can, comes up with that auto pen bullshit, he is going to try to prosecute one of those people he pardoned. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what happens at that point. If a court's going to take it into consideration.
They won't.
I mean, I wish I could say yeah, but you don't know anymore. That's the thing. We're at this again. I'm waiting for the Supreme Court to weigh in on all this bullshit. What are they going to do? Are they going to side with Trump? Are they going to side with the court? Even if they side with the court, how do we frickin' enforce it
They're not going to side with
if he
you
ignores it? Say again?
because the Justice Department is on the precipice of losing all their power.
Keep
The
talking.
Justice Department or the Judiciary?
The judiciary. They're on the
Yeah.
precipice of losing all their power.
And the point is, but still, if they still stand up to Trump and say, you got to do it, I mean, how do you enforce it if he says, no, fuck you? I'm the president. I can do what I want, and this is going to happen regardless of what you say.
Well, of course, but it goes back to what I said earlier in the live, is that Donald Trump has immunity, but nobody else does. So all these officers of these departments that are supposed to enforce the law, who aren't doing it, they're going to be in contempt of court. So they have to face the consequences of that.
So do you think Pam Bondi cares about that?
No, I don't think that she cares about that, but there's going to be judges that do care about that. Judges can issue arrest warrants. So whether Pam Bondi likes it or not, if a judge says, you're in contempt of court, I'm going to issue an arrest warrant, fuck you. She has no say over that.
But who arrests her?
Like the court will. I mean, whether it's the U.S. Marshals or whoever, that judge can tell a U.S. Marshal, go arrest this person for what they've done. And they can't stop that. Now,
I mean, I hope they want, like what happened with the planes and their refusal to answer the judges with the Venezuelan export or in the deportation and refusing to answer the question. That's contempt. If you tell a judge, I don't want to answer your question, that's contempt. He hasn't held them in contempt yet. He keeps giving them a chance.
well,
He needs. Go ahead.
he's expecting answers. And it was a really weird situation. Everyone has to agree that that's true. But at some point, when people defy a judge, and John Roberts is going to back this up. I know for a fact because John Roberts does not want the judiciary to become invalidated. He's not going to allow that to happen. We're going to have to face the pipers. You know, they're going to have to pay the pipers because there's no way that they're going to allow this to happen.
I have to agree with that.
Well, if what John says is true, and we have a whole new regime in the Democratic Party come 2026, there's going to be some judicial impeachments. I'm thinking.
I want to see some fun hearings when they start dragging these people in. I mean, that'll be entertaining. Finally, if they have the balls to do it. I mean, they have to.
I read something about. I read something. I kind of went down the rabbit hole on this. What happens if Trump defies court orders? And basically, what would normally happen is the judge would issue a contempt order, and the marshals would go and arrest the official at the agency that is in question. Now, the debate is over whether or not the U.S. Marshals will do that because they're under the guise of the DOJ, which is under the guise of Pam Bondi, which is under the guise of Donald Trump. So, criminal contempt may not work, but there is something called civil contempt of court, which has never been used before, which is when a judge can basically deputize somebody, whether it's a county sheriff or a state sheriff or something like that. They can deputize somebody to go make that arrest.
Great.
So what we need is some rogue operatives, is what you're saying.
Deputize me, and I'll go arrest every one of those motherfuckers. Every one of them.
Yeah,
I'll go arrest all of them tomorrow.
Civil contempt is something that is still at the judge's disposal, and I'm fucking gonna bet that's what's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, I'll arrest him. Deputize me. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'll go arrest every one of those motherfuckers.
Oh God, he will too. There's no doubt.
So,
Can I go with you?
I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
would
John.
hope.
Absolutely.
John, you can go with me as long as you get a tanker load of mash, because I'm a little short change here with the mash.
Well,
I mean that's
probably pay me more than the elevator will. So
gotcha. Now we've been seeing protests everywhere. People have been on the streets every day, if I'm right, protesting something or another. I mean, it's not much news coverage because they're trying to hide it. The mass media is useless. But how far? I mean, how much more can these people push without someone? Again, it getting violent. Because if they cut off Social Security, if they do something drastic, where are we going to be at that point? I mean, are people really going to get that far to riot and all that?
I don't know. They have to take that one step too far for us to see, I guess.
I mean, there have been Molotov cocktails thrown at Teslas, rocks thrown through Tesla dealerships. People are trying to hide their Teslas because they're being vandalized. Someone pointed out there's a video. I wish I brought a link with it. This woman kind of chasing down the parallels between the rise of the Germans, to now, and she found a lot of parallels. But one thing she did say, if you notice, the Tesla symbol looks like the cap of an SS officer.
yeah, the eagle.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit, she's right.
Well,
That's disturbing.
I'm going to tell you guys something. Tesla stock in the next 2 weeks, it's going in the gutter. And it's all going to be sold out. And Elon Musk is going to be fucked. Like, that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. So,
You know what happens when his Tesla stock goes to hell? He defaults on the loan for Twitter because that's what he used as collateral.
exactly.
And if it's not worth anything, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
He's gonna be hanging out with my pillow.
Oh fuck!
He's the new pillow guy. He's the new pillow guy.
Right. And understand, a lot of billionaires are not liquid. They're not liquid. They're very liquid. They're very small in liquidity because you don't want that much money hanging around.
Yep.
It just doesn't work. You get taxed on it.
Elon
So that
Musk
could
is
really
the
be.
next, Elon Musk is the
Go ahead.
next example of why you should not get involved in politics. Trump
Yep.
would never have any convictions against him. My pillow would have the pillow guy would have freaking all his money still, and Elon's the next one in the freaking lineup.
You mean the couch boy?
No, that's JD Vance.
Oh God! Now back with the couches. We rolled that last time. And that's wow. And yeah, I'm hoping economically that's going to work. And as economics become more prominent, and they know that they're losing that, you end up with what's going on in Yemen, the mass bombings of the Houthis, the encouraging to bring that up even more. And that's the thing. That's where you go when you see your authority getting wrecked. You want to go to war. You want to become something that people can rally against. And all of a sudden bombing Yemen, which we hadn't done in what, months since the last time they tried it. They did it out of the blue, and now they're encouraging it. Gee, what a quinkadink! How'd that happen? All of a sudden, and that's what they're encouraging to do. Here we go again, and
They're desperate.
those saber, yeah, the saber rattling still in Greenland and for Panama. That's what I think is, if they go that far and start, using the military for foreign expansion, that's when the shit's going to hit the fan. Because I don't think a lot of Americans want that. I thought he was the peace president, but here we go again with the lies and the bullshit and the 1984 crap. That's what we keep fighting, is this misinformation and the fucking gall to change history. And I want to bring up one last thing today that really disturbed me, was the military removing all mention of people of color and Latinos and women and their military. What the hell do you think? You can just erase history by just removing it?
Yes, that's exactly what they think. Well, that's why yes, that's exactly what they think.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do.
So what are you going to do? Shut off Google? I mean, burn books. That's obvious. But what are you going to do? Go into Arlington and start digging up people? I mean, how far?
Scratch out headstones and stuff.
Go ahead. Say
You're
again.
gonna go to Arlington and scratch out headstone names and stuff.
You know what? I wouldn't put them past it anymore. And it bothers me because American history is a rich history with a lot of ups, downs, ugly, good. And the point is that the reason they do this, they keep saying this because they want to protect people from the bad things of history. Tell me what a black recipient of the Medal of Honor is a bad thing for American history. Explain that to me.
It's a bad thing for them because their fragile little egos can't handle it. That's the only reason they don't like it.
Which brings, I mean, what type of military they think fought in these wars, especially Vietnam.
We want everybody to believe it was just white.
Yeah, we just in those war, in a lot of wars, we put the black people right on the front lines. They did the heart and soul of our freaking campaigns.
Every war.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in the Civil War, they did it. Both sides did it.
Particularly in the Civil War.
If you see the movie Glory, that's a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent movie. Because if you, and the other thing is, if you watch Ken Burns' Civil War documentary, they talk about that unit and what happened. And the point was, that was an experiment that, even though that whole unit unfortunately got wiped out, it showed that that blacks in the military would work very well. And then the unit started to grow, even though they're still segregated. But but that's American history. That's rich, and you can't just remove it because people. I mean, it's so heartbreaking to think that these guys hate America so much that they want to rewrite its history to fit their mode, because it's not going to benefit anyone. How does this benefit you guys, other than propaganda? Do you think people don't remember that? They do. A lot of people are still alive for that. And how do you eliminate women in the military? Tell them they don't belong? I mean, good luck. But staffing the military, I mean, that's the thing. Once this is over, once we get this done, once we finally, because I think still history will be on our side, We got to make sure we never ever return to the incompetency that we're seeing right now. These people do not belong in government. They are not. They do not have the American people's um, what's the word I'm looking for?
Best
Best
interest.
interest. Yeah, because it's all about what we can get out of it. The chicken thing, I go back to it because it's ridiculous, but that tells you that someone who doesn't care about you.
And they're out of touch with
It,
reality.
say again.
They're out of touch with reality when they say that.
Yes, but the thing about it, that's their reality. I think someone made a good comment that um, they live in a fantasy world that doesn't exist. You live in a fantasy world where they think all this happened and it didn't. And that's the hardest thing we have to live with right now is how do we it's heartbreaking because I really do believe in my country. I believe in history. I enjoy listening to it, the good and the bad. Because we got over a lot of bad to get here. Now we've fallen back. Now we have to figure out a way to get away from it. If that makes sense. And look who's joined us. How you doing, brother?
KRP.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you all doing?
Hey, doing
Hey,
good.
KRP.
That's
Go ahead,
great.
bro.
What's the topic? What's the topic?
Anything and everything at
How
this
fucked
point.
up our
Well,
country is?
okay. Well, let me just say, I just learned that the Treasury Department is. If you probably already know this, but the Treasury Department is now, if you cash any check between California and they were saying Texas for over the amount now of $200, they look into it. I don't know. They say it used to be 10,000, but now it's like they're looking to anything. They just, I guess, announcing this for that way. I don't know if that comes up with Trump doing or what.
Sounds like fascism to me.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
if you get your Social Security check, and most of them are about maybe $1,100,
yeah.
and you cash it, you're gonna pull up a red flag with the Treasury Department.
I guess so. They said they was starting through it was from California to Texas. Something I guess just started. The guy was talking about it. He was letting because he's in the financial field. He was letting people know about it. So
Wow.
I was trying to research it as well. But like he was like saying that that's the new thing coming from the Treasury Department.
Who's paying for that bullshit
I
Wow.
don't
investigation?
know. That's crazy. They want to know. He said it used to be
Yeah,
up
I
to
thought we
ten
were supposed to be
thousand.
trying to save money. Now they're going to invest. They're going to spend money to investigate everybody's deposit.
Yeah. I thought it was. He said it used to be up to 10,000. They were, but now he said they're trying to drop it. They dropped it all the way down to $200.
I,
So is this
You
deposits from anywhere, or is this
I,
deposits
I,
like government checks being written?
I guess so. Any place you going, I guess they were saying from check cashing places to other places. So I don't know how it works, but they've started it. I'm like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, because,
They really want to know.
hey, you know why? Because the poor people have to pay their taxes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
rich people don't.
fuck all the poor people. Don't worry about the rich. All the poor
What
people
is
have to
going
pay tax.
on with this government, man? What's going
well, I
on? They
mean,
want to.
hey, if we knew,
I
yeah,
know
and
they want
also
to
one
know
last thing.
everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And by the way, there are still taxes on Social Security and tips, you dumbasses, and never was in that budget. Just a reminder for those
yeah.
Trumpkins who keep saying that this budget was all for us. No, it's not. It's not. And
No,
you're
it's
going to find
not.
that out really quickly.
Yeah,
And
they
I
are.
mean, that's
Yeah.
the, and WK, you had a video talking about a religious thing. You want to talk about that because I thought that was pretty cool. What you were talking
Yeah,
about.
what I was saying was this is the time I believe that God, we're going. It's right now. It's like history repeats itself, even in biblical forms. Right now, we're going through some hard times. Like a king, they want a king, right? So God is giving these people a king, but when He told them, when you get him, you ain't gonna want him. So
Sure.
that's what's happening. But He said, I'm going to let you see how it is to have your king. But He will come once the people repent and say, okay, it was God we rejected, but we wanted the man. See, that's what happened with Trump. When he said king, It's biblical. That's what he sees himself as an idol, but God's only using him for such a time. And the reason why I said it because there will be a revival. I'm believing God that there's going to be a revival, and it's going to start from Alabama. It's going to go for worldwide. It's a trickle effect. This won't last long, but we're seeing something. We're going through a test. And the reason why we're going through this test because it's making more people now. They're praying. They don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, what do? People want to get down on their knees. They want to say, God, could you please help us? Save us from this tyrant. That's my prayer. You know what I'm saying? Really. But
I mean,
things are going to get better. It seems worse, but through prayer and like I was telling you, Binder, like I was telling you, man, keep doing what you're doing. People need to hear that. You know, expressing your thing. That's your God-given talent. What you're doing now.
Amen.
This is a mouthpiece to the
appreciate
people,
it.
to the nations.
Absolutely.
That's why you're getting more
Yeah.
flack, man. They don't like that. They don't want it, but you got to do what God
Oh, I
called you to
know.
do. Yeah.
And then Dolores made a good comment, and Dolores Sanchez yeah, we're in the storm, but to kind of to quote Hamilton, we got to get into the eye of the storm. Get into
That's
the eye of the storm, and then watch it around us, and let it and follow it, because eventually it's going to run itself out of energy.
that's right. That's right.
Eventually, we're going to run it. That's the thing. We kind of have to survive what's running, because, and I think Mike said it good. Well, today, Trump fucks things up.
Yeah.
That's his thing. He will mess this up. Anyone else smarter it would have been worse. But he's not that bright, and his ego is gonna make it worse to the point that even his own people are going to be standing around going, "Now what?" And I think that's the storm we have to survive. Eventually, it's going to blow up in his face.
It's gonna
I mean, I
happen
can't.
eventually.
Right.
And as one person put it, thinking about it, he goes, was talking about this too on a video here. I want to see how that's going to look. He goes, I want to be there to watch it. How
Yeah.
bad can it get? How bad? I mean, how much more can you lie to the American people? Because they're pissed and they're not dumb. The reason that these people are screaming at their representatives, they're at the town meetings, that they're standing out, is that they know they've been had. People know when you've been
Right.
had.
That's
And
right.
what happens when any con man in a frickin' town finds out? He ends up tar feathered and run out on a rail. It's
That's
going to take
right.
us a while to do it,
I know
and we're
that's
going to
right,
do it.
Will.
Because that's the thing. This is a fucking con. This is a con for the entire American government. And I don't know how far they're going to get, but I tell you one thing: Trump and his mini-me are going to find out the American people are not going to quit. We
That's
don't.
right. But
We get.
that's right.
Go
That's
ahead,
right.
sir.
No, what I was saying
And
is it's going to come from within. There's somebody there that's going to take him down. Hey, that's happened with all the elites, Al Capone, all the mob guys, whatever. There's going to be an inside guy to take him down. And that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you. It's going to be
no,
coming
yeah,
from him
that's
from the inside.
I sure hope
yeah.
you're
It's
right.
It's gonna be
I hope
Musk, I
you're,
bet.
I hope you're right too. And we've been thinking that about somebody's going to take down Putin for how long too, but that hasn't happened. So
That's gonna be Ukraine that
put.
takes
Well,
it.
Putin's a different guy than Trump. I'm gonna put it like
not
that.
not really.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Putin is a little smarter.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but he's pulling Trump's strings, so they're not necessarily
Yeah.
sure they're not one and the same
But
at this point, are we?
Um,
The only
but
good
that
there's
is
a
but
new person
that
here.
Trump's a narcissist and he can't keep
Desiree.
his mouth shut.
Hi, hi, Desiree. Hello. And they're gone. I thought they wanted to. Okay. Yeah, he is smarter. I'll have to admit. Putin is smarter because Putin. Always remember, Putin ran the KGB for a while, and you can't be dumb when you do that.
yeah, yeah.
So, and everything Trump ran failed. So you gotta have a look at it that way in the end. And Dolores, yeah, it seems that we have to hurry, but everyone remember, come the 20th on Thursday, Trump's been in the office for 2 months. 2 months. It seems longer because it's painful. I mean, it's, but it's only been 2 months. And you can't keep this up. Not the way he's doing it. It's got to come to a head. And when it does, we have to be ready to see what's going to break down. Because the biggest thing is going to come up, and I think Shane's worried about it, but a lot of people. Come April 1st, if people don't get their Social Security checks, what happens? What happens?
They coming with
How do
pitchforks,
people?
like you said. They coming with
And the thing
pitchforks and
about it is,
everything.
it's not just only going to be the recipient, not the recipients, but the families of the recipients are going to have to basically how they're going to handle that. Because I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing. They keep saying they're going to do something with Social Security, and if they do it, they think there's going to be no reaction. Oh, there's going to be a reaction.
Oh, there'll be
There's
a
going to be a
major
lot
reaction.
of reaction.
People are going to turn this place upside down if that happens.
Yeah.
And JD, I want to ask you a question as we're coming to the end of this. Farmers keep talking about they're losing everything. It's been 2 months and everything's just starting. How long before that all comes apart? Are we talking about another month, another couple of weeks? What's going on down there in that industry?
I don't know. I mean, it's happening already in some areas, but I think it's going to take a while. But I mean, it's hard to say. And I've seen it on. I've seen it a little bit on Ag Talk. People are kind of starting to figure it out. I was on there this morning. It's like Ag Talk is like an ag forum group kind of thing, kind of like it's like a Reddit for farmers, more or less. But there was someone was talking about Trump, and there was a thread on there, and how someone was talking about how great Trump is, and they said. And someone responded, actually a few people responded to the guy by saying, yeah, they said make America great again, but they didn't say for who. So
yep.
There are farmers that are starting to realize they've been fucked.
Because economically, little by little, like in Kentucky with the bourbon, you're starting to see those stories. And Jack Daniels and those people down there are not going to be happy. I don't know what's next. Go ahead.
They laid off hundreds of people, Jack Daniels.
Right.
All you have to do is listen to what Rand Paul is saying. If Rand Paul is whining, it's bad.
Yeah, at least for once, Rand Paul figured something out on his own. Shocking. And the other thing is too is like home building. TJ, because you're in the kind of construction field, home building is coming. Doesn't it ramp up coming up in spring, or how's that work? Is it about now when they start ramping it up?
Well, you would think that it would, but it'll be okay in the north where we have competent people to build houses, but in the south where Ron DeSantis is persecuting immigrants, no houses getting built in the south. I'm telling you right now, 0. So we're going to benefit in the north. We're going to benefit, we're going to keep building houses. We're going to keep progressing in the southern states. They're fucked. They're totally fucked. Georgia included. Those immigrants are going to leave the state. They're not going to be building houses.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly. And also, I like this for Ron DeSantis. They ran out of gas or supply of gas in Florida.
Yeah, I saw that.
In Tallahassee.
Yeah,
and do you know who he reached out to for help?
Mexico.
The president of Mexico.
He did.
Yeah, man.
She shot him down.
Yeah. She's no habla inglés. No habla inglés.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
now they want the help. Now you want to run all the people out of the country, but now you want the help.
Right.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The prices are starting to be paid, and to answer Dolores' point, it can't be quickly because all the consequences are going to roll up. But the problem is they're going to roll up and hit at one time. It's
Yeah.
basically like an avalanche, and it's starting slowly. But once it gets into a flow, you can't stop it. Once it starts to flow, you can't stop it. There's nothing to do but get out of the way, and that's what they
That,
can't get out of the way. I mean, the
you're right.
consequences are going to be huge for that.
Yes, it is.
There's
It is.
and because the economics is the biggest thing. I don't understand what they want, only other than to make sure the rich get richer and we get poor. But they're
That's
going to
it.
find out we eat the rich
There
in
you
the
go.
end. We will do that. Tesla's finding that out right now. Elon Musk
That's
is finding
true.
that right now. Target is finding that out.
Walmart.
Amazon's starting to find that out. Say again?
Walmart.
Yep. And the quarterlies are coming out at the end of the month. And when those come out on April 1 or 2, that if you thought the stock market was bad now, watch
Yeah.
that.
They're saying
And
Coles has decided to go DEI too.
to get rid of it or
Yeah,
increase
to get rid of it.
or
Get rid of it. They
well,
want that. They just announced. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Coles
don't
is going on
understand
a
how these
business.
people don't get basic economics. Like basic economics is that if you have money, you spend money, and the more the money
Yeah.
they take away from us, like Target, Walmart, Amazon, that's where us like middle class and poor people like we that's where we spend our money. Like I just
Yeah.
mhm.
I am baffled by their logic.
I don't get it.
The logic, yeah, because economies, true working economies, like I've said before, work on a win-win basis. You get something for the price. You get a
Uh-huh.
job. You get benefits from it. That's a win-win, and it's a middle of the road that everyone benefits from. The problem is that these oligarchs and the very rich, and that includes Trump himself, believe in win-lose. We get everything, you get nothing, or what we give you. You can't run an economy like that. It doesn't work. You can't run trade like that.
Like
It doesn't work.
how do they think that by us not having any money or having less money, it's going to benefit them? Like who is going to
So,
I mean, and
oh,
I don't mean everybody. Just sorry to interrupt you.
I think so.
I mean, it's power. That's part of the problem. That makes them powerful to be over other people, to make people beg. I mean, they love the idea of the company town and the idea we're in debt to the company store type of thing. That makes them very, very happy.
They're going to bring back layaways.
Oh, God.
No,
I can
it's
remember
just like
those.
the king mentality. Trump is doing it like so the people they're pheasants under him. So he want everybody to be on the same level, so they'll have to look up what to him, to the king. They need help. King, can you help us? You know, that's what he wants. He wants this.
Yeah, and then he's going to be like that. There's a Disney film called The Emperor's New Groove. Have you ever seen that movie? The
Yeah,
cartoon?
yeah,
It is. There's
yeah.
that one scene. It's not my problem that you are. What is it? Poor.
For
Get
yeah,
out.
yeah,
That's not my
yeah.
problem. You should have been known that you needed food. You should have known that before you became peasants. I mean, that's the mentality that we're dealing
That is.
with.
That's what I'm telling you. That's how he's looking at it.
But but
So
see,
it's crazy.
we're so big, and people have so much invested that the idea that they're not going to come for your help, they're going to come for your you know what,
Yeah,
and that's what they don't realize. And you think, well, Americans want to, yeah, Americans will do that because we're not like everyone else. We're weird. We don't capitulate, and they're not going to get what they want, and so they're going to see it slowly happen, and then it's going to cost them money. And that's when they start realizing they don't have any money.
true.
And so, I mean, it's going to be a tough road, and they're going to distract us with culture issues, threatening other countries. The immigration thing is something we'll probably have to write out until we can get rid of them and correct that mess. A lot of
Yeah.
people are going to get hurt before it gets better. I
Same thing
think
with
all we
women's health issues.
women's health issues. They haven't the good. Let me rephrase that. This before. Let me call it purpose. What I say. The good thing about all this immigration mess, they kind of ignored that, but they'll get back to it. They'll get back to it.
Well, you know,
it
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Anytime you tell a judge, when the federal judge asks him about why did they do that, the person, the information on the inmates, how bad were they say they will tell them nothing. They tell them the judge nothing. Come on now, tell them it's not their business.
They're
Whoa,
gonna get disbarred. That lawyer's done.
they
He
should
thinks Trump's
arrest
going to
them. Arrest
protect
them
him.
all. They need to be
See, that's
arrested,
that.
all of them.
There is an arrogance in this Trump administration that is going to pay that they're going to blow up in their face because they think everyone's going to take what they say as face value. No,
Yeah,
they're slowly but surely getting pushed back, and not only from the people but from everything around them. It's not. It's hard because every day we kind of look at it and go, "What the fuck?" Because we care,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the thing. If we could not care, then it wouldn't be as bad, but we wouldn't be who we are. That's the thing. The reason we put these things out and we don't tolerate assholes is because we care. And we don't understand. Why don't you think that's a good idea? Why what do you mean that giving a kid a free lunch is socialism? What do you mean? How's that hurt me and not benefit them? That's the thing. They had if you want to see how stupid people are on the far right, they had I popped into a quick CNN thing. They asked the question of this far right idiot. Hey, what is the one thing of poor education for kids? The dumbass said poor educators, and they all looked at him. All the other four people on the panel go, no, hunger, hunger.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They don't acknowledge what's right in front of them. So our job in this, as we bring this to an end for you guys, and thank you for showing up. I appreciate you guys. I feel better now. I feel like I went through therapy.
That's
Thank you
always
all.
good.
I
Most
really
definitely.
appreciate it.
Will.
And is that the one thing I want to remember is that we care enough to do this shit. We care enough to speak out.
Absolutely.
We know that it could be dangerous, but I don't see how speaking the truth is always not going to benefit us all. And in the end,
Right.
we just have to kind of take a deep breath, understand that we are bigger than they are. We always have been bigger than they are.
We will outlive
And
them.
we outlive them, and that even includes those people who think they're doing things for the good but have no idea. You hear me, Chuck? I'm going to outlive you. I don't care how old you are. So the point being is, we here now, when we speak truth, it's going to work. And I think that's the thing. We got to keep doing it, even though it's painful to watch our country being ripped apart. But maybe once we get done, there's enough of it we can stitch it back better. And the next generation or our children's children will be something we imagined. Something I see every day when I watch a Star Trek episode. Maybe we'll get to that. It won't be ours. It won't be our doing, but maybe we'll do enough to push them in the right direction. And
Man.
that's what I said. Anything else, guys, you want to say before we give this a night? Jay, TJ, Rebecca, anyone?
Uh, we'll survive it. I mean,
Yeah,
it can only last so long.
true.
They'll
That's right.
burn themselves out.
Yeah. So that being said, guys, thank you very much for popping in. I appreciate you. Again, you can find me at
Thanks for inviting me.
Binder38US on TikTok, I'm also on YouTube, Binary 38 US. This will be on YouTube. This live, if you missed it, it will be on YouTube tomorrow once it downloads. I want to remember America's bigger than this mess, and I'm not going to surrender to a fucking con man in the end. So, you guys have a good rest of the evening. Be safe and keep the faith, y'all. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Will. Good
Take
night,
care,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
all.
Good
All right.
night.
God bless
Appreciate
you
you.
all.
Hey, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night, guys.